right now. He's gonna have to bid. Oh, just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI League. ULTILeague.net.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on ULTICAL, link in the description.
ULTI.TV. Alright. A little something special for the WGGBMUCC. It's a lyrical sculpture in the sand that I carve. This is Flash on the mic, now on the Algarve. From 40 to 60, we are on the attack. If I can just get some vitamin I from my back. Foot on the line, yeah, I'm ready to go. Or did I just pull a muscle? Hold on for a moment. Play it cool, just act like I'm young. Got flicks on my wrist and lyrics on my tongue. 20 more, 10 more years left to go. Tricks from the past and a buttery flow. A little slow off the start, I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. I got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Yeah, I got some dodgy knees. Disc in my hand and the sun in the sky. My dad bod goes jiggle and my hucks they fly. The spirits are rising like a disc on the breeze, going miles out of bounds to the Portuguese seas. I played a point, yeah, I need a sub and a good long soak in an XL tub. Don't need to run anymore, I'm one of 14 handlers. Happy Gilmore this disc like we're all Adam Sandlers. I'm slow off the start. I like to call it brisk. The sunshine glints on my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between my toes. We got none of the pivots, but all the throws. Alright, let's finish this off. My 6'2" still works in the bar. I can see for miles. Got drinks on my radar. Portimão party is the place we flee for the friends we see and these great memories. Yeah, I feel the spirit as I pull every sinew. Shatter my knees, yet we're gonna continue. Take this hand, better yet carry me from the beach to the bar, better yet to the sea. I'm slow off the start. I like to call my speed brisk. The sunshine glints off my slow-moving disc. You know how it goes with the sand between our toes. We got none of the pivots, but all of the throws.
Welcome back to the Golden Sands and the crashing waves of Portimão. It is dramatic scenes as we get underway with our final and fourth game of day one of the World Grand Masters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022. Myself, Hannah Penderbury, on the microphone with Benji Rees. It's Leggett of France up against Flash from Great Britain, and Steve Giguère himself. Flash on the microphone, as you just heard that sensational rap. We'll be out on the pitch in front of us. Look out for number 29 in a white and blue shirt. In fact, there he is with a missed layout attempt.
Yeah, I think if he wasn't instantly recognisable already, gave us some handy little tips. Watch out for, you know, the torn right elbow and running when he should be handling. But I thought they were all handlers at this age.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much a legit thing. It's what the rap said.
That's what the rap said, yeah.
And the rap therefore must be truth. Hello to Oscar, our fantastic scorekeeping volunteer, alongside Barry this fine Portimão day. And what are you expecting from these two teams? How have they fared so far, Benji?
Mixed fortunes for the Jets. It's a 13-8 victory this morning over the Tragic Hips. Didn't go quite so well for Flash, going down 13-2 to man down.
They were quite excited to have scored 2 points on them, though. Man down, 20-strong roster from USA. And for those wondering, Steve Giguère is in fact booked into a place with an XL tub.
Is he really?
He
oh,
is.
That's research right there.
A deluxe Airbnb just behind Hotel Jupiter on the strip here in Portimão on the Algarve. So centering the offense, popping across. Steve Giguère, that number 29. Easy, close one to Mike Bird. Bit too much touching on the mark, perhaps. A little chat between the two players as they just reset. Underneath, EJ Bailey. Sits on that pivot for quite a while. This loose mixed format. Single-handed grab for Giguère. She's going to chuck it into the end. Just over the top of Chevalier. Bailey looking for resets, calm as it gets, and throws into the palm of Mike Bird. There's a little fall down afterwards. Perhaps some might call that gratuitous, but in the last game of the day for these teams, you know, anything to keep the disc alive.
You know, it's on sand, so it's not easy to keep your footing at the best of times. Also, if, you know, great grandmasters, you know, sometimes you know that there's no shame in going to the ground to make things a little bit easier on yourself potentially at times. I'm going to get this out there nice and early because it's in my contract. Bailey, a graduate of the University of Sussex.
Indeed, Hawks from 91 to 95.
And also played at the University of California, Santa Cruz, the wonderfully named Banana Slugs. Which, I mean, amazing, right? They actually, that one, it's maybe a little bit behind Bird, so, you know, just going to ground just to get behind it and make sure that you keep that level playing field. It's no such bad thing.
Well, shouts out Leslie Charles, or Lester as she's named, played with her at this UCSC. Amazing sports person, a sporting hero for EJ Bailey. Saw her punch in that first goal for Flash as a just nice clean hold. So Leggett with an out of bounds pull will show us what they can achieve. A little brick signal there. Mark wasn't quite sure. The number 38. Who I did check all these numbers. All right, there you go, not a 38, maybe 38 on the shorts, but the number 3 of Will Biddle. So, shot from Loiseau straight away. Tesoro. This team swinging back, 3 handlers near to the disc, but that's going to be tipped into the sand by the German Ruben Schreck, playing for this. Actually, it says his home city is London for Ruben Schreck, but he definitely doesn't sound like he's from London. As a big overshot towards the end zone tries to hit Louise Edwards.
But was that supposed to be a London accent?
No, it wasn't.
You
sound like you're from London.
You sound like you're from London. It definitely did not sound like you're from London.
No, not at all. That was sort of part of the joke.
Yeah, but I mean, you can sound like you're not like London, but still trying. You know what I mean?
No, it's all about the no effort. But Louise Edwards there being overthrown. Former Uriel player from the University of Exeter. And of course, many of these Flash players will have played for that Big Fish Little Fish team at the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships back in Limerick. So Leggett tossing to the centre of the field. Very unmarked Yann Courty. Puts it up. Out of bounds though. Has a think about the greatest to keep possession alive, does the number 16, César Tesoro. Came from volleyball originally.
Yeah, I think originally you could see he was going for it, and then the disc just kept on going. It's like, that's not quite going to work.
So Schreck, with the booming voice, might have to put a bit of a booming throw here. The stall rises to 8, just chucks it and hopes, but underneath it with plenty of time and no concern on his face whatsoever, César Tesoro with the block.
Yeah, Schreck's not afraid of throwing big on, I was going to say, when the moment strikes, or even when the moment doesn't necessarily strike.
Well, it was nice movement on the far sideline from Leggett, coming just out of the end zone and collapsing to the floor. Sophie Dehanois just making sure. Still count again, starting to rise. The layout attempt is made from Edwards, but cannot deny a calm composure. César Tesoro puts the first one on the board for Leggett.
Getting a bookend as well, going deep pressure at the other end. Needed to be there so that Smith didn't just come through and take that one from behind him. And then at the other end, just outside the end zone, staying alert, staying active. There was the D earlier in the point. First turnover from Schreck. This one put deep, and I think the defender had given that one up as a goal, but not quite in was Dehanois. And then just looking, what do we do? Do we go? Yeah, let's go for it. Why not? Just squeezing that past the bidding Edwards.
Indeed, so you saw there athletes marking across gender lines. This, of course, is a loose mix format, so both teams are required to put at least one of each gender identity player on the field. And, of course, the requirement to match because the offense is choosing. It's old school rules here for this veteran tournament. But Flash charging forward. They had a clean hole to start us off, but that one's going to bobble over the top, and there is no redemption. Mike Bird has a little think about laying out, but just too far away.
Yeah, just a little bit high off the fingertips of Bailey.
So nice, easy swinging now across the side. Tuttle, the US player. I take that back. She's not. Swing across Coltman. Oh, and it's a lovely inside shot, but just sails past Mallet. A nice idea from Jeff Couret.
Yeah, you saw the window that they'd created, but again, it just keeps on going a little bit too far, despite the best effort of the receiver. Jeff Couret, by the way, as well as playing for France, also represented Spain internationally as well, so no stranger to the Iberian sand.
Well, a low release. Oh, nearly well scooped up by EJ Bailey, but it just pops out of her chest like a piece of toast in the morning. Crochet getting us underway.
Hungry by any chance, Hannah?
Oh, and that's a lovely bit of space found by Christian Tuttle. Or Kristen even, not Christian. Putting in eyes where they don't exist here on our roster, but a nice collection after the error from EJ Bailey. Perhaps a bit too much zest on that throw.
Yeah, Olivier Chevalier picking up here and just putting a little bit of touch on that throw to space based in Nantes in the northwest of France, which was kind kind of the general area for French nationals this year. It wasn't specifically Nantes. It was Orval, potentially, I think. I have to dig back in my memory banks for that one. And organises Yes But Now, the French beach tournament for, well, since the millennium, actually, 22 years. And his sporting hero, another old school athlete, Johan Cruyff. Hopefully, I guess they're trying to play some total frisbee, right? That's what it would be.
So a nice pull to start us off will land just out of bounds on the far sideline. That's going to be bricked and brought into the centre of the field by Natalie Wong, the Canadian playing for the Flash side, currently living in Toronto. Has been playing for 17 years and has got 2 silvers and 1 gold at Canadian Nationals with Terra, and came 7th with Max Power at Masters Worlds in Limerick. But that, of course, on grass rather than this lovely fluffy sand. But immediately throws the turnover on the first pass. Loiseau has a little look. No separation initially, but streaking through. Oh, and that's a very nice goal. Jean-Pierre Rabe. But there's going to be some sort of call, a travel call there. Perhaps a bit too much momentum for Rabe as he came through.
Just going to press the undo button on the stats tracker.
And all's fair. Christian Sorna sits back a little bit as he didn't have the space to put the mark on initially with that big run through. Oh, and they're spinning in the front of the end zone. Antoine Rosnay picks up the goal for Leggett, and it's a break.
Yeah, you always wonder after you've come from maybe a tough defeat in the morning like Flash had 13-2, what kind of headspace you're in. You mentioned that they didn't seem necessarily too downhearted with their performance.
Indeed, they were. I think in the words of Steve Jaguar, they were very pleased not to have been bageled and to have scored 2 points on the North Americans. But of course, not what you expect to see is that turnover off the first swing pass that was unmarked.
Yeah, there is a little bit of wind. You can probably see it on the flags in the background. That it's blowing right to left, so an upwind, downwind game. And yeah, there's a slight cross breeze to it as well. But it does mean that you do have to be very careful with those throws. That ball comes in at quite some speed, but it's well fielded by Cooper.
Martin pops back. Looking around. Coops throws for Biddle. Back to Cooper. Slicey one up line. To Edwards. Lou looking around. Oh, they close the door on the reset so well. It's a hammer over the top, but it just hits the ground moments before Bird does. But a foul call might bring that one back. It was relatively close, Benji.
Yeah, Heist also thinking maybe I'd get the hammer over the top, might be expecting it. Gets the hands up there, but in doing so, creates contact with Edwards as she's releasing that one.
So accepts the foul call, Martin. Back for the reset. Goes for sort of almost looks like a chuck it in hope, but that's fantastic read and toes by Mike Bird.
That is wonderful field awareness and body control.
Oh, another slicey, dicey one. Martin this time throws out into the space on the soft side of the pitch, but unfortunately there's going to be no bid into the soft and fluffy sand from Mike Bird. A bit too much adventurous from Flash.
Yeah, Martin did really well to stick this catch under very tight pressure close to the sideline, and he sees that there's no force, so he can really attack that break side. The problem is he doesn't quite get the edge right on it, so it continues sailing away from the intended target, Mike Bird.
So another break opportunity for Leggett. They currently sit 2 on the bounce up. In terms of their breaks, can they get a third to advance to 4-1 here? Defenders keeping up well on the shoulders of Leggett. Sits in the pivot for quite some time, and the release is there, but the catch is not.
The release is supposed to be on the throw, not on the catch, right? That's one that Tesoro is going to want back, because it was a wonderful deep put. And now Tesoro has to put his head down and go to work. But with the turnover, I imagine that they will retract the travel call.
Yep, just the players having a little chat saying it didn't affect the call, so that's going to stand as a turnover. Again, Flash asking rather a lot out of the number 7 Mike Bird.
That's the drop of shame, the straight up actual in the end zone there.
Yeah, we love a bit of shame cam here. But that one comes out perfectly for Tesoro. He has a short memory and dishes one into Jacques Cochet.
And that's exactly what you want there from your thrower. Okay, he made that drop. It was not a good drop. Some drops it's a tough catch. No, that one is about as open as you can get, and they just couldn't get it to work. Never mind, doesn't matter. He's still open, so we're happy to go back to him. It gets the confidence of the receiver back up as well. Again, rewarding the fact that those deep cuts are coming, and then the dish off into the end zone to Cochet for the score.
Well, Tesoro continues to have an impact on this game. He is also into surfing, snowboarding, skating, and he's a canyoning addict.
Canyoning?
I imagine that must be some of those kind of, like swinging from one side of a canyon to another type thing, right?
Fair enough. And of those, I guess if he wants to bring one of those other sports to the beach, surfing's probably the most applicable one here.
Indeed, we did see some surf school attendees earlier today.
Not the strongest waves you'll ever see. But
no, but not a bad place to learn, as opposed to the west coast of Portugal, where you get some absolute rippers that if you're a novice or a beginner, you may well come a cropper and find yourself whisked away out to sea as the disc, whisked away by the wind, falls into the sand. And another opportunity for Leggett, picking up on the far side with Beaulieu. But now Charder pins up line, jamming it a little bit in the jam hole. Leggett back in the hands of Coltman, who throws a nice slinky, saucy flick pass, and that is going to be good for Frédéric Mallet.
They've really found their range here. Have Jets after a nice clean hold to start from Flash and generating a couple of turns on the first Jets point. It's been kind of all down here from there really for the Brits. This one just a little bit of a riser, but good focus to bring that in with two hands from Frédéric Mallet, and a timeout called.
Yeah, perhaps Flash needing to have a little chat with each other. There is a lot of unforced errors coming through right now, but as the teams out on the pitch take a little brief break and get a breather, as shall we. We'll see you on the other side of these short messages.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
Welcome back to the first half of the last game slot for today here at the World Great Grandmasters Beach Ultimate Club Championships 2022. The party in Portimão continues. And we have a matchup between Leggett, who are 5-1 over Flash from Great Britain. Of course, Leggett being from France, as opposed to being from the French-speaking part of Canada. Although we do have some Quebecois amongst our players here at the tournament. And Flash, who've been struggling to piece together their offense, throwing into the sand. at the feet of Louise Edwards.
Yeah, the French defense has been tight, but also there have been too many, I'm going to call them unforced turnovers from Flash, but on the other hand, they are active marks here from Jets, and so it's not giving them solid, easy release points.
Deonois finding Rosnay. Back to Chevalier. Thinking about that around backhand break, but there's a poached off mark. Although still making Rosnay look good by throwing just out of his reach, just, you know, has a little bid. Faking the hammer. Again, the poached off resets. Oh, but a sneaky hand in the cookie jar. Stealing the disc away, Steve Jaguer. Sits in his pivot for a long time, squeaks it up line, and that's a nice leading shot into space for Cooper. Popping back, Jaguer again. Lashing it high, but well kept. Holden. Dishes back and around. Oh, it's a cheeky, almost scuba-y type hammer over the top for Steve Jaguer, and finally Flash connect with Mike Bird for a score.
Does anyone else feel like that shouldn't have worked? When he released it, I looked at it and was like, oh my word, that's come out really strange, but we'll call it the intentional inside-out hammer from Jaguer for the score.
And a bit of double happiness. The block there generated by the big wings of the big man.
Yeah, just maybe needs to get a little bit more around to really not give Jaguer a shot at that. And then, given how things have gone, I think Flash would be forgiven for being keen to get that in the end zone in short order.
Now, is that a hammer? Yeah, it's sort of like a hammer release.
It's the inside-out hammer. It's a throw that everyone should have in their toolbox. And this time, Mike Bird is clearly ready and waiting for it. He's caught both of Flash's goals so far.
Well, these, I tell you what, the athletes coming out into this Great Grandmasters division, sorry, Benji, they almost need a golf caddy for the size of their toolkits.
I mean, if you've got almost a golf bag size of tricks, probably in the right part of the world for it.
Indeed, there is a golf club hire shop at Faro Airport, just in case the baggage handlers have managed to lose yours on your way to the Algarve. Of course, many people don't visit Faro. It's quite nice, pretty and historic for a day or two. Had the pleasure of visiting between these two tournaments.
You had a little excursion there.
Indeed, it's got rather strange architecture on its cathedral, but I do quite like it. It's an unusual blend of Baroque and medieval. And well worth climbing up the bell tower on a beautiful sunny day, which it was. But of course, the sky is now overcast here in Portugal as Mother Nature just cools us down for this stage of October. But that is fiery hot offense. Les Jets have turned on the burners and they are flying out here.
They absolutely shredded that Flash zone, just giving and going at will. There was nothing the Brits could really do to stop it, in all honesty. Just pinging it back and forth, 1-2. 1-2. It doesn't matter that those passes are only for a couple of yards. As long as they're getting done, that's the important thing. And it's Yann Courtil finding Jacques Cochet to make it 6-2. Leggett within 1 point of half.
Indeed. And we're 3 minutes shy of the point cap that would put half-time on. These games, of course, played to full 45 minutes. But a leisurely schedule, just the 4 games a day, teams each playing 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon slot.
Yeah, let's be realistic here. You can't force, I mean, I don't think it's healthy to force any teams to play, you know, 4 games a day, especially on sand. So, you know, giving teams ample rest, especially for a tournament like this where, you know, teams are here to enjoy themselves. Obviously, you want to play good ultimate, but also, you know, kind of reward yourself for a long year, get out there and strut your stuff. As that one, I think Cooper couldn't quite get his hands around.
Yeah, Neil Cooper almost creating like a platform out of struts and other various bits of wood to try and bring that one in. A man from the Isle of Wight living in East Cowes, but he's not a sailor, ironically enough.
Yeah, you can see him wearing that white Wildcards jersey under his Flash kit, which is maybe my least favourite jersey in ultimate.
Well, less said about that than the better as they squeeze another in. Du Leger, a low inside release from the number 26, Ronan Le Roelec.
And that was a pretty ruthless first half, I think, from the French. Just getting that isolation in the end zone, dragging the player over to the open side, and a little bit of a bounce back inside there from Clayton Coltman makes it 7-2 to Leggett at half.
Indeed, and no long stoppages here, just going to trade sides, and Flash already preparing themselves, calling for the disc, because of course they're going to come out on defense. It all looked just fine with that first opening hold that was silky smooth and very clean, but at the moment this is Leggett's game for the taking.
Yeah, trying to back up their strong win this morning with the second one, making it into a winner-takes-all encounter with man down tomorrow morning to see who comes up top of Pool D, and also to take a win through into the power pool.
Absolutely, it's a tournament format with 16 teams with plenty of scope for redemption if you do falter. You carry, of course, that loss or win across from the pool stages, but the top 2 finishers of each pool will play the bottom 2 of a corresponding one as we just work our way through the stages of the early days of this tournament, day 1 of 4. So Leggett recommence. Oh, it's a nice one down the sideline, but that's going to be scooped up by EJ Bailey. Got her reading glasses out. A little chat on the mark.
Yeah, the angle of that just didn't really give the receivers a chance, but Bailey was right there ready to greedily pick it off and get Flash's D-line offense back in motion. A break to start the second half would be a big boost to the Brits.
Indeed, currently trailing 5 breaks, 7-2 down against Leggett. But with disc in hand, Shrek's going to get us back underway. Just deciding what number we're coming back on. Probably the longest stoppage for a call we've seen all day so far, Benji. There's been remarkably well-spirited games.
I agree. Again, it's one of those things where there is a little bit of a party atmosphere at this tournament. We talk about the party in Portimão, and it does definitely feel in process here at WGGBMUCC.
Absolutely, it's one of the fantastic things about the Masters Plus divisions. Well, it just starts at just bare Masters, but these, of course, great Grandmasters being 48 years of age this year or older for the male matching players, and 45 or older for the female matching players. As a pick, will give us a brief pause.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at all levels people are playing for the love of the game, but especially when your body is maybe not quite in the shape that it used to be. I say this as someone who is much younger and his body is certainly not in the shape that it used to be.
Well, it's very impressive to see these athletes running around as if they were but in their early 30s. Mike Bird again attacks the deep space for Flash, but it gets overthrown once more.
Yeah, Shrek has the license to shoot when he sees the opportunity, and especially on a high stall, you may as well. Bird has been Flash's favourite end zone target, but he just couldn't fly far enough to get that one.
Well, Bird clearly the favoured person for Flash to try and loz it too deep. Broke his collarbone playing rugby at uni, which is how he got his start in this wonderful sport. But unfortunately, Antoine Rosnet cannot bring that one in.
Yeah, just rising a little bit. And you can see he got 2 hands up there, trying his best to bring it in. But they just had other ideas.
So Shrek will, after walking to the disc, bring us back in. We're opening up the soft side of the pitch, and again it's Mike Bird under it, but can't quite open up the wings and put another one in the nest.
Yeah, Shrek looking very animated and frustrated with himself. You can see the option there, trying to roll it across the end zone, but just didn't quite get that roll curve to bring it back in bounds at the end.
Yeah, the space available, that one had to be a picture-perfect shot, just sitting into that back pocket of the end zone. But Cyril Loiseau, which I think translates to something bird-like, because oiseau is definitely bird in French, so we'll have to have a chat about that later. But streaking through Ruven Shrek with the block to get the disc back for Flash. An accepted foul on the mark from Antoine Rosnet. Great use of hand signals to show that the stall is being reset to 0. Oh, and the bobbled catch leads to the drop for Seth Martin, centre field. Ideal opportunity again here for Leggett.
You could see Martin turn and look downfield, and only after he heard the clap of doom, he looked down and was like, oh no, the disc is in there.
My disc, my beautiful disc, it's in the sand, no! But this is good giving and going flow from Leggett. A high one, well brought in by Courty. And there, the little inch of separation and the dish into Sophie Deaunois.
In the red zone where space is at a premium, and especially on sand, where it's a little bit harder to close any sort of gap, you can take advantage of just those split seconds where you catch a defender maybe too focused on the disc or with their eyes not on you, basically, and maybe they just got their back turned, their hips the wrong way, and all it takes is a step of separation, and you can really just punch that in there quickly. This one, nice rising grab there from Courty on the end zone line. Looks up, sees that the defender is just a hair away, and thinks, thank you very much, into Deaunois.
It's an interesting one, Benji, because I would say probably the force there from Flash was ambiguous. Not entirely sure which way they were trying to press their opponents, but well collected by Deaunois, whose daughter Pauline is in the French team this year. So ciao to you, Pauline, or bonjour. And also says her other Frisbee fan at home will be her life partner, Matthias. So the ball goes up. Flash need to do something special, some inspiration. All needs to help them punch this one in as they trail those 6 points now. Edwards looking for the reset. A bit flustered, just chucks a knife in front of her. Again, a flurry of white shirts around the disc, Benji, but nothing really looking that definitive.
Edwards had to do something, so just get it out any way you can, but it came out far too bladey, and there was no one ready deep just in case, as that one from Jets is thrown comfortably too far out of reach. One that I think Tessera would probably want back.
Well, when you've got a 6-point cushion, Benji, we've seen stranger things.
Yeah, you could maybe afford to be a bit more profligate with your throws.
Indeed, and we could see a Flash come back, in which case, of course, he would want that one back. Separation was there, but a difficult throw to execute. A same third huck. Across pitch, backhand blade to try and open up the space initially. Lamb. Switching between his hands, it's an offhand backhand that's going to rise into the sky, but extremely well read by Neil Cooper. Nice shot upfield, a little just jump into the sand from Biddle.
That was honestly pretty sick.
Makes it look easy though. Perhaps a bit of too much contact between.
Then there's a discussion about some marking infractions here.
Perhaps saying the flailing arms of Chevalier getting too close and encroaching on the space.
That's got to be a violation, surely. No.
Not called on the field, and there's going to be an underthrow. Louise Edwards throws herself at the flash of pink disc, but unfortunately it seems like her team is just coming a little bit undone here. So Leggett on the charge. Courret down the sideline to Chevalier. Opens up the break side space. This is really lovely flow. Opens up an acre of room down this near sideline. Gaucher dishes, and that is another on the board. 9-2 now, the lead for Leggett.
Yeah, Leggett are rocking and rolling right now. Cochet punching that one into Chevalier. At their previous game, Cochet racked up a total of 4 goals, and as well as a couple more this game, that's now his first assist of the tournament.
Well, Well, sometimes, you know, you catch it on the goal line as a true fire receiver, and you, as we see another look at that bid from Biddle.
I mean, it is kind of in his name, so I guess we should have expected it.
Indeed, and look, give go immediately, guns for it.
Yeah, gets that low release as well, so it's not going to get too far taken by the wind. Leads Cochet onto the end zone line, and then just the cheeky little elevator around to the streaking Chevalier for the score.
It's always an interesting dynamic, Benji, at these tournaments when you've got live scorekeeping going on that's all loaded online, so you can see who sort of the killer players on offense are for a team.
It's interesting because I also think sometimes it's a little bit misleading, because there are certain types of players who really power your offense but are just not necessarily getting the scores and assists, and they can maybe sometimes you get too focused on the stats and you can't quite see what's in front of you.
Indeed, any good coach knows to look out for more than just who's throwing and scoring goals, although we saw so many teams at the European Beach Ultimate Club Championships who could play excellent offense all the way up to the end zone, but that one could be gold. No, it's not. Again, almost like a commentator's curse there. Fantastic offense for Flash up until that very last pass, getting a bit too hasty. And are they trying to hit Mike Bird again?
They are indeed, and Shrek, he's going for that flick across the pitch, and it just keeps going. It doesn't hold up enough at the end, and you can hear the kind of agonized yelping of Bird. No, that's not a squawking, maybe.
Well, he is definitely getting open, but that one is going to go on a road to absolutely nowhere and give Flash another opportunity to put their 3rd point on the board.
Yeah, that shot from Boileau, just the edge, always taking that one out of the sideline.
So, Shrek bringing it back in just in front of our wonderful cameraman, and that's going to go again out of bounds, trying to hit Mike Bird once more. Be nice to see maybe just throw in a couple of resets and some unders before trying to just go straight to go. Do not collect £200. Do not pass. No, was it?
No, go to jail, go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect £200.
That's the
I said
badger.
this is a man who has spent a lot of time in jail through various games of Monopoly. It's a conspiracy against me, I'm sure.
Well, perhaps the arm of Shrek needs to be locked up for a little while.
Yeah, with Shrek, on the one hand, you shooters got to shoot. You give them the license to go out there and make the plays, but yeah, it hasn't really come off for him today.
And a little scuff marker in the sand to indicate where the disc should come back in. Charder. Big one across to Coltman. Currently one of each score and assist for the young number 7 from Swarthmore, PA. Oh, nice cut-up line from Beaulieu. Oh, that's a beautiful lead to the soft side. Does he toe the line? He calls it good as Clayton Coltman, and as do the other players on the field. This is career highlights. It's every single championship he's played in, of which he's had many, Benji.
Yeah, should we list them off? How about Perth 2006, Prague 2010, Lecco 2014, Winnipeg 2018, Limerick 2022, and Portugal now. That's, you know what, that is a fair few. Fair play.
Indeed, and also involved in the charity tournament. The Beth Coltman Memorial started in 2002.
And he is a volunteer at another world famous beach tournament, maybe the biggest in the world. Wildwood takes place on the shores of the Wildwood shores of New Jersey every summer.
It certainly does. A hallowed place.
Have you ever been?
I have not, but I've listened to several Sin the Fields podcasts.
It's one of my bucket list tournaments, for better or worse.
Mate, should we go?
I mean, you know that if there's any excuse to play some silly fun beach ultimate, I'm there. So
and make questionable life choices at the party, I heard.
I'll have my people talk to your people.
Okay, well, we'll make it happen. Perhaps we can convince Ravi to enter a Eurotrash team and for some mad reason invite us. Oh, but that's a lovely little piece of sneaking through, run-through defence from Kristen Tuttle off a slightly lackadaisical pass in the wind, one might say.
Yeah, that time got a lot of the spin, but it just held up maybe too much because Tuttle saw the window and smoked through it.
Oh, and a nice inside shot, but that's going to sail over the flailing arms of the intended receiver. Ronan Roelek, unable to connect.
Yeah, here's the turnover. That just tossed backhand from GBR. Wong's hand is there, but a split second too late. But unfortunately, as you mentioned, on the turnover, looking for that inside out, but just got too much angle on it that time.
GBR with a low one, much better pace for Wong on the far sideline that time. Dishing back. Oh, over the top, but it just slices through the air in front of Will Biddle.
Creative option, just didn't quite have enough juice on it.
Well, I think probably too much blade, but that is going to be Goldilocks just right for the next score for Les Jettes.
Yeah, Leroy punching that one in. Didn't get it earlier, didn't get it right first time round, but at the second time of asking, finds Mallet, brings Jets 2 away from the win. I must say that for Les Jettes, they haven't been perfect, but Flash have given them enough opportunities, and they've generally taken advantage of them.
Yeah, difficult one to overcome there. Short field given to Les Jettes, who just have that extra little bit of confidence right now. As you see, I think that might be Mike Bird in. No, I take that back. That's not Mike Bird at all. That is indeed a Les Jettes player. That's Frédéric Mallet, just getting a little bit of time out of the wind.
And again, the calf compression sleeves, very popular at this tournament.
Although, to be honest, Benji, I'm seeing less compression and K-tape than I thought I might.
I mean, it's only the first day, right?
Actually, yeah, that's a fair point. So, disc brought in by Neil. I've now noticed the white wild card shirt he's wearing underneath his tank top.
Yeah.
Both teams in tanks, more or less.
Oh, I mean, it's beach, right? You've got to get those guns out.
Indeed. A nice reset from Bailey. Smith launches it over her head, though, goes for the second. And just EJ Bailey nowhere near that rather spicy biscuit from Colin Smith.
Yeah, you can see what the attempt is here. Just get a bit of float over there, have it sit in the back of the end zone. But again, it's that wind that's always trying to push it out of the back, and it doesn't give Bailey a chance to bring it in.
Well, formerly of the Niggets from Kingston,
That's probably Kniggets.
Kniggets, there you go, from
Monty
Kingston.
Python style.
Indeed, indeed. Your mother was an Amster. No, your father was an Amster, and your mother smelt of elderberries. So, Les Jettes popping back. Nice stuff. Chaudet finds Loiseau. You can hear the sideline chatter from this far side of the field. Chaudet punches up line. Good footwork from Coty. Oh, that's a lofty shot. Initially, I thought that was an overthrow for Deonoir, but it's not. The speedy Yann Coty turns on Les Jettes indeed, and the French are now within one of closing this game out.
That was a beautiful throw there from Loiseau. I was with you. I was like, oh, wow, that came out really hot. But actually, and I'm not even saying this ironically this time, a visionary shot, because he sees that developing on the far side, spots it through all the traffic and just puts it out there nice and comfortably for Coty to bring in. Lovely shot that from Les Jettes.
Coty recovers there on the sideline after using rather a lot of energy, but of course this the last game of the day for both of these teams. Little chatter there on the sideline. Body language generally across the board still pretty good for both sides. They do indeed have those redemption matches in the power pools, as a deep pull is going to have to be fished out by Wong, finding GBR, who goes up high. Oh, it's a one out into the space, well taken out by Clayton Coltman.
Saw it late, but still spotted it early enough to be able to poach in and get the block.
Oh, and there might be a call to bring us back as Chevalier launches to a suspiciously free Jacques Cochet.
right? He was just lurking there. Yeah, he's pick. I think GBR is the player who's supposed to be marking him. He can go through the traffic, or he doesn't need to.
Well, it's a U-turn. They go the opposite direction. Clayton Coltman picks up the final goal for Leggett. They will advance 13-2 over Flash in this pool matchup.
It started so well for Flash. A clean hold, generated turns on Leggett on their first O point. But from there, the French just found an extra gear, and Flash a little bit unable to keep up with them, in all honesty. So both sides have important games tomorrow, facing the teams that they will carry the result through into the power pools. For Leggett, that'll be a top of the table clash against Man Down, while Flash will have to look to pick themselves up against Canada's Tragic Hips tomorrow morning.
Well, we know Hips don't have that many personnel on their roster. I believe they lost one of their compatriots due to coming down with a nasty bout of COVID-19.
When you say lost, I assume you mean that they just that they couldn't attend.
Indeed, indeed. It's not lost for good, but of course we would say it in a much more somber tone if it was that. We're going to catch some highlights of this game, but make sure you set your alarm clocks for tomorrow at 9:30 BST or GMT +1 if you don't want to think about too much about the British. We'll have Young Legends versus Notsuo in Pool B. But that was a great game, Benji, between the two talented teams.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly looking forward to tomorrow morning, as you mentioned. Should I start that again? Young Legends versus Notsuo, and then America versus Rainbow Warriors after that one, which is going to be a spicy game. As you can see from the highlights package, there were really nice moments in there from Flash. They just couldn't string it together on a consistent enough basis. That was one such moment.
Indeed, it was flashes of greatness and inspiration, but the consistency of Leggett, who just put some nitrous oxide into the engine for their last game of today. But join us here again tomorrow. For myself, Hannah Pendlebury, for Benji Rees, for all of our wonderful ULTI.TV crew. We will see you tomorrow morning.
Right now, he's going to have to bid. Just a football.
Huge layout block. Unbelievable stuff on the front corner of the end zone.
Maybe just that boost of energy they needed. Huge swing pass and a great grab there from Spear.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. ULTI.TV.
We believe mixed is the best for the sport, for the world. That's why we're making a global showcase, starting in Europe, made in Amsterdam. ULTI League. ULTILeague.net.
on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Don't want to miss anything?
There are loads of tournaments happening, which you can attend either as a player or a spectator. You can find them on ULTI.TV, link in the description.
ULTI.TV, BUCC lyrical.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.